I've been using ScalaHosting for pretty much every single business website I've made in the past 3 years. And you should too. Why you should too? Just look at these performance tests. 0.2 seconds server response time and my website fully loaded in 1.2 seconds. I've been running performance tests on tens of web hosts at once for years now, and ScalaHosting consistently leads the pack in terms of speed. Here's a live showcase using the entry cloud plan. I can load photos and interactive elements of this pretty heavy site with minimal delay, and even Google PageSpeed rates the performance as 99 out of 100 on mobile and 100 out of 100 on desktop. Pretty much a perfect score. So why doesn't everyone use ScalaHosting? Why even bother with other companies? Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's kinda expensive. Around 10 times more expensive than the cheapest option out there, Fast Comment. So who is this product made for exactly? Why is it expensive and why do I love it so much? Okay, so first of all, not every ScalaHosting plan is expensive. They basically have 3 different offers or tiers. Regular, cheap shared web hosting that uses sPanel, a middle ground option between their shared and managed plans that use sPanel, and an expensive managed VPS service that uses sPanel on top of a separate server management interface. The managed VPS and the middle ground services are a completely different method of hosting your website. While cheaper options take one server, configure it, and put as many users on it as they can, sharing the server resources, ScalaHosting virtualizes a part of its server, creating a completely isolated and customized instance just for you. This ensures that projects are run completely independently from any other client on the server. But I've demonstrated that getting around 1 second load times with a web hosting plan that costs less than $3 a month is possible if they use the right hardware and software, like here. I even bought their Mini. I've set up the exact same website as I've shown in the beginning, and it loads almost as fast as the entry cloud option. So what's so good about virtualization? Why do you even need to pay this when you can just pay this? Well, this is loader.io. It allows me to send bots to my website and simulate real website users and stress test my websites. To showcase how this works, let's try sending 50 users to the cheapest web hosting service you can buy right now, the Fast Comment starter plan for $1.79 a month. When browsing the website normally, it seems to load fast. No issues with it, really. Even GTmetrix score shows a response time of 0.35 seconds and a full load time of 3.6 seconds with a score of B. Seems decent, right? Especially for the price. Let's stress test it. 50 users in 1 minute. And our first users are arriving now. We've got 2, now 4, 5, 7, 9. So far, not one of them has loaded into the website fully. 12. There we go. The first bot loaded in the website in 14 seconds. Looks like we've got our first errors at 15 users. Oh, more errors at 19 users, and it crashed, meaning that we reached a 50% error rate. So only 20 users were sent out of the 50, and already 10 of them got an error page, and the rest had to spend around 7 seconds waiting for the first page to load. If this was a real-life scenario, this website would be completely useless if more than 5 people visited at once. Now that we've got our benchmark, let's go through the ScalaHosting service tiers, starting with their mini plan. Immediately, much better results. I'm fast forwarding here the 1 minute, but there are no errors. The website loading time steadily increases, but even at maximum load, it averages out at around 2.5 seconds. But it works. If I'd bumped the number up from 50 users to 150, we can start seeing the limits of this plan. 8% error rate and the average load time is 5 seconds. Based on this data, Scala Mini works best if you have up to 25 to 50 users at the same time on your website. But it will stay online for larger spikes as well, it will just slow down a bit. Let's do the same test with the Scala Entry Cloud plan, one tier up. The plan is 10 times the price of Fast Comet, so let's add 10 times the users, 500 in 1 minute. It definitely slowed down there by the end, but still all 500 users got to see and use the page. At maximum capacity, the average load time was 1.6 seconds, which is still good for such a heavy site. And it was faster than Fast Comet even with just one user. So, the mini and start plans and Entry Cloud come with a set amount of resources. You can't scale them up or down, so they have a limit of how many users they can theoretically handle. But if you need to scale those limits, that's where the managed VPS plans come in, where you can configure them to fit your needs and have as many resources for as many users as you need. Of course, I didn't expect Fast Comet to perform as well as ScalaHosting. I just wanted to show you the difference between bad shared infrastructure, good shared infrastructure, and private instances. VPS type hosting lets you use 100% of the power you have available to serve content to users, instead of being cut off early for drawing too many resources away from the server and other users on it. And that's where the price and utility of ScalaHosting comes in. Budget options are great for users who expect up to 5 users on their website at the same time, or 15 or 20, like a low amount. Which is still plenty for websites like a personal CV or a portfolio, but they're not really even an option to consider when building projects that require more traffic. That's why when I'm testing web hosts, I do more than just a single speed test with a single user. I stress test the plans because the story changes drastically and the price differences start making more sense. By the way, you can get an exclusive 10% off any Scala hosting plan if you buy using the link in the description. It applies a coupon code that reduces the price by 10% on top of any discount that they currently have available. Of course, this type of instance or private hosting is nothing new. It's actually called VPS hosting or virtual private servers. And you can buy a virtual private server for like $3 to $5. So we're at the starting point again. Why is Scala hosting so expensive then? Well, because Scala hosting takes this concept one level further, offering managed VPS. And the managed part does a lot of the heavy lifting for you as a user. When you buy a plan from Scala Hosting specifying how many resources you need, Scala Hosting takes those resources, creates a virtual server using them, and attaches a control panel called sPanel to the server. So instead of buying just raw resources that you manage using the terminal via commands, because that's how a regular VPS is operated, Scala Hosting sets everything up for you, and you can simply use sPanel to perform various tasks, which is way simpler to work with than the terminal, but still offers the professional hosting environment on top of an easy-to-use interface. Of course, there are options on the market that you can use for free for the control panel, but they don't even come close to the utility and ease of use of sPanel. And since sPanel is developed by Scala Hosting themselves, you can't really get these exact same controls anywhere else. For example, you can easily create a WordPress website and, if needed, automatically clone or create a staging version of it. This allows you to have two identical websites, one for customers and one for testing, so you don't accidentally change the live website and break everything while your customers are using it. This is a very good development practice that's very easy to do if you're using sPanel and Scala Hosting. But of course, there are more business-oriented features as well, like the business email functionality included, where you can create professional business emails using your domain name and send or receive emails in a separate business inbox. But if needed, it also links together with Gmail for easy and convenient access. And of course, the most useful feature of all, dark mode, so you don't blast your eyes out while working at 4 AM. But don't get me wrong, while all of this sounds great, it's not perfect. The price is not the only barrier of entry here with Scala Hosting. And the biggest reason why I recommend services like Hostinger to complete beginners comes down to what this control panel is lacking, not of what it has. And the biggest thing that it's lacking is tools to create your website in a beginner-friendly way. And of course, any website developers that are watching this video right now are going straight into the comments and telling me,
"What do you mean there's no easy way to create a website? It has WordPress. WordPress is the easiest way to create a website."
And yes, WordPress is available, but that's the only real option you have as a beginner if you're using Scala hosting. While competitors like Hostinger have drag and drop website builders that are fully automated and extremely easy to use. And if that's still too complicated, Hostinger also has AI coding tools to automate the process for you. You can just tell the tool in any language you speak what you need and it codes and hosts it for you. Scala hosting has nothing like that. So people still might choose options that perform worse, like Hostinger, because those upper performance limits won't even be hit by beginner users, and they'll gladly exchange that power for ease of use and faster website creation tools. But if you are planning on creating a WordPress website for SEO flexibility and all of the functionality you can think of, and you're not 100% confident in your skills, you have to keep in mind that the managed part of managed VPS also means you get help. A lot of it. You have 24/7 technical support available to you at all times, included in your plans for free. Scala hosting boasts response times of 30 seconds for the live chat and 15 minutes for tickets. Over the years, I've tested this claim more than once, and yeah, it's true. For example, here, my first support ticket with Scala hosting was in 2021. Yeah, I've been a user for quite some time now. Responded in 5 minutes. Let's check one from 2022. Response time, 7 minutes. How about 2023? 4 minutes. And I could go on and on. As you can see, I have 2 full pages of support tickets, not even counting all of the live chat support I've gotten, which is pretty much feels instant, as you get a support agent assigned even before opening a ticket. I know this seems like a lot of support tickets opened, but this was never about services not working. All of them were about upgrading my websites, seeing how much further I could take them if my server would get one more upgrade, or if I could tweak the infrastructure a little bit. And Scala hosting support delivered absolutely every single time. Not once was I frustrated or felt like the problem wasn't being resolved in my favor. Like my latest ticket, I've expressed that I feel my site is slower than it should be for the price I'm paying for it. Not a very specific problem, but a very common one amongst website owners. The support agent explained that my server is running at stock configuration, not taking advantage of any performance boosting technology that Scala hosting is offering, and offered to implement them for me, making my website get near perfect performance score, all done in less than an hour for free. And this is nothing out of the ordinary. Scala hosting literally has a form on their website that says, "We guarantee our technicians can optimize your website and make it load faster than 2 seconds, or we give you your money back." Now that's some dedication. And that's exactly why I love Scala hosting, because I'm a power user. My websites get traffic, I have a lot of them. I use their support to help me manage, update, and transfer various projects. For the money I'm paying, I won't get a better performing service with better help anywhere else. As for the website creation tools, I use WordPress always, so I don't mind the lack of a builder. If Scala hosting sounds like something you might use, start with the entry cloud option. In my opinion, it's their best offering. You'll get the best of both worlds, ease of use and performance. Plus, you'll always be able to upgrade to a more powerful configuration later down the line, and it comes with sPanel, which is a huge upgrade over sPanel in my opinion. As for their mini and similar plans, for now, I would instead choose options like Hostinger. The price isn't all that different, and since in these cases performance is not the limiting factor, it's usually user skill, Hostinger just has better tools for beginners even if they have worse performance. But remember, no matter which plan you get, utilize the support you have available. Contact them, ask them to set up LiteSpeed, WordPress, Redis, LiteSpeed Cache on your site for optimal performance, or simply consult about your needs. If you need more help, I have a dedicated step-by-step guide on how to use ScalaHosting right here, so you can watch that next if you do decide to go with ScalaHosting and finally get out of the baby leagues of hosting and get some serious power. Good luck!